Alright guys, hello, welcome back again. So on this topic today, I'm gonna do a video based off of these 3 enclosures of myself cleaning and decorating. And for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Miranda and I am from JTK Reptiles. Also, if you guys are interested in our t-shirts, it says JTK right here and in the back as well. This one is a crop that I did by myself. So if you are interested in the crop tops as well, you can contact us and we can provide that for you guys. Anyways, back to this. So this enclosure and this enclosure, they're both empty right now because we took out what we had in here and put them in a tub to soak to put them into a new enclosure. And here we have 5 rhino iguanas and they are about 3 months old and they are available. So if you want one, come get them before they're gone because we do sell out of our reptiles fast. And on these ones, you can contact us if you want one through social media. So either Instagram, Facebook, or we have 2 phone numbers for the store. I will share that in the video, the 2 numbers and in our Instagram, so that way you guys are following the proper one and our Facebook. And we will get back to you guys on there as soon as possible. If we don't reply right away, that's because we're either cleaning, feeding, watering in the store, or we're helping customers at the door. So anyways, let's continue to this of the cleaning. But I do want to tell you guys one thing before we start cleaning. In this enclosure, we're putting 2 black dragons that are holdback. They are in an enclosure right now, but they kind of grew out of it, so that's why we're moving it to something a little bigger for now. On this one, it's the T-positive albino that's going in here with the sulfur. And then in the last one, we're gonna put a chameleon. Alright guys, remember how I told you guys like about a minute ago or so, when I took these out, I was gonna show you guys, and what I mean, the rhino iguanas that I heard, the babies. I have one in my hand that I want to show you guys close up. Here it goes. They do love the head scratching a lot. And heads up, they do get about 5 feet above, depending if it's a male or female. So they do require a huge enclosure the older they are. And they're pure vegetarians. And they do require certain care, like lighting, enclosure, and bedding, and everything inside their enclosure. But that will be in the next video. So you guys can stay tuned for a different video when that comes out. Alright guys, all done. Now that I have shown you guys the enclosure done, I'm going to show you guys really quick which bedding I use for the bottom of the enclosure. Give me 1 second. Of course, it does depend on the size of your enclosure. So don't go by the amount of bedding I use for the size of our enclosure, because unless it's the same size. Other than that, don't, because you might need more or you might need less. So I mixed these 3. This one is the reptile bark, as you guys can see. This size is the 4 quarts. I use this whole bag. We do sell them as well. Our bedding are starting at $9.99 and up. Just depends on the sizing you get and what kind, because they're all different prices. I use this whole bag as well. It's also 4 quarts, forest floor, and then which we sell as well. And I used the reptile soil, but I didn't use the whole thing. I used maybe about half or a little less than half. So I would say I think I used about like that much. And I just mixed it up and spread it out in the bottom, which we sell too. So all of these 3 beddings we sell and more. So if you guys are ever interested, you can purchase them from us. Alright, so on the tub, if maybe some of you guys are wondering, I should mention it's called a bus tub. I'm not sure where you could buy them, but you can use either cement tubs or these ones. You can get them from us. We do sell them if you are interested, but they are by order, so just let us know, okay guys? Alright, now that we're done with this one, we're gonna continue to the next level. Ready guys? Alright guys, now we're moving on to the lights. So we're gonna use the T8 10.0, which they require, which is this one. We sell as well. This one, I would put it up there along that. We do require this one more because they get more UV ray because of the length. But if you happen to have this one at home, then that's fine. Or if this is the only one you can get to for now, you can always use it. This one is a 13 watt 10.0 UVB, which we sell as well. And on the T8, they have UV ray in it, which helps them be active, eat properly, and get their coloration as they grow. And then also you need a basking lamp, which brings a lot of the heat. This one I'm using the 50 watts just because for the temperature inside our store it's pretty warm, and also on the enclosure, so pretty much it's based off of the length or the height of the enclosure to the watts. And I'm not gonna screw this one on yet. I'm gonna use this one temporarily because I haven't put my timer in, which I'm gonna put. I use a timer, that way I won't have to forget to turn on and off every day. We usually leave it on 10 to 12 hours a day. I'm gonna show you guys how it looks, so if you guys ever are interested in getting one as well for yourself, because you get out of work late or you can't turn it off at that time that the 10 or 12 hours it hits, you can always use this as well. And this is how it looks. All right, now we're gonna put the light in. So I'm gonna start with this one for now, which is this. Now we're gonna do this one. Alright guys, now that we have both plugged in and on, we usually wait at least, I'd say give it 30 minutes, that way it heats up, because it's not, you just put it in, so it's obviously not going to hit the temperature right away. You have to give it time to warm up, and then once it's warm, this is what we use. It's a Temp Gun. So this usually helps to check how warm it is inside, because you always want to make sure that the temperature hits 100 or above. You don't want it to hit lower, because then that's when you'll have the problem of your monitor like not eating properly, or just stuff like that. And so we're gonna give it a few minutes, and then we will shoot it right here, because this part is the warmest. So wherever you have the light hitting down, for them to bask on, that's the part that you want to make sure it's warm and heated, not the light, obviously. We're right below it, okay guys? All right, sorry guys, I forgot one more thing. So you want to make sure you close your enclosure in order for it to heat up. That way it can heat up faster because it traps the heat inside the cage. So I waited about approximately 5 to 10 minutes for it to heat up, and it does heat up for us quicker because we have a large collection of animals and cages and heat. Unlike people who have small collections or maybe just that animal in an enclosure, it might not heat up as quick. So just keep that in mind, guys, okay? So now I'm gonna show you guys with the temp gun the temperature that is inside. All right guys, now it's time for us to open the enclosure, and now we are going to check with the temp gun how hot it is in the basking area. So as you guys can see, that's me shooting it in the basking area. All right, now we're gonna now going to the second cage now that this one is done. All right guys, remember how I told you guys that you have to monitor the cage of the temperature before you put your animal inside? So I did weigh and I checked the temperature, and this one hit about 125, and that's a little too hot, especially because of the size that we're putting in. So it does vary on the animal that you're putting in, because some of them can't take the heat if they're really little and you don't want to burn them. So I ended up changing it to this one. So I took this one out, the reptile 50 watts, and I changed it to the Zoomed Nano Halogen Heat Lamp 35 watts to drop the temperature down a little. And all three of the enclosures, they all have the heat in the same area. So sometimes when you have this many enclosures, the heat of one enclosure will push onto the next one, so they can make it hotter. But if you have one enclosure, you don't really have that much of a problem, but you still want to wait the hour before you put the animal. You don't want to put the animal right away without knowing the temperature inside, because one, it can either be too cold and you didn't check the temperature, so they're freezing in there and they're not eating right, or if you didn't check it, it can be too hot and it can burn them. And so I'm gonna show you guys with the temp gun the temperature inside that one right now, okay? All right, so I'm gonna show you guys this one. This one is not gonna be as hot yet because I put the light last. So as you see right now, it's at 77. So we're gonna close it and give this one time to heat up. And then I'm gonna show you guys the middle one. It's all done as well. And I'm gonna show you guys the it's at like 80, 90. Still rising. Let's close it to keep the heat inside. And then this one, we had the light in first, so we'll check the temp. And this one is hitting about That's a hot spot. So it fluctuates back and forth. So we're gonna give it some time before we put them in to make sure it is where it should be. What do you guys think? So one more time, I want to remind you guys that you always want to make sure you have a temp gun to keep track of the temperature inside the enclosure, because you don't want to have the problem of them not growing right because they don't have the heat inside. You don't want to have the problem of them not eating, and so on. If you don't want to use this, you can always put inside a thermometer with the probe, and that will keep track of it as well, that for you as well. And then this is not recommended, but we use this because you always want to make sure you have the lights on for about like 10 to 12 hours in a day. If you are busy or you work so much or you don't want to forget, you can always use one of these, which we do sell. You guys can always come by and purchase one. And then you want to use this for their basking to make sure it heats up inside. And you can use either this one or this one, which is the Zumed Nano 35 watts. And then, like I said, don't use the exact watts we're using, because not everybody's cage is the same size, or not everybody's house or garage or wherever they keep their animals is not the same as ours, because ours are kept with us inside our store, and our store is warm because we have a lot of cages and a lot of lights that require high temp because they're reptiles. And you always want to make sure you have either one of these or this, which I recommend this one better. So with all of this, as long as you guys are changing the lights consistently, you guys are monitoring the temperature, you guys are feeding them every time they're supposed to eat, you guys are changing their enclosure as they grow, then they will grow and be the way they're supposed to be when they get older, which is reaching their length of 8 feet plus. And they do. So the water monitors do originate from Southeast Asia, like different parts such as Philippines, Indonesia, and so on. But the ones that we have specifically, they're obviously not from over there, because those ones are US CBB, which is US captive bred and born. So all right, so since we handle our animals a lot, they are tame, because we play with them, we interact with them on a daily basis, so they can get used to us. Once they get used to us, that means they become more tame, and they will come out to you whenever you open an enclosure, you put your hand. They don't bite, they don't whip or anything. So we always recommend handling them, giving them attention, playing with them all the time. But like I said, we can only speak for our animals. Our animals are like that. Therefore, I'm going to show you guys an example of how our animals come out to us, or specifically speaking, our monitor, the black dragon, the T positive albino, the sulfur, and the kamingi. Are you guys ready for that? All right. You guys see what I mean? Tame. These ones are not for sale, sorry guys. These ones are holdback. This one we're keeping for ourselves. She's mine specifically. And sorry, this one to climb all the way to the back. But if you guys are interested, you know, just let us know. But not obviously for ours. They're curious right now. Oh, here goes one more of their favorite spot on top of the head. Alright guys, I'm so sorry I had to finish the video on a different day because I got really busy with customers and cleaning other enclosures. But I did put them inside already, and I thought, you know, hey, you guys watched me, helped me finish cleaning this and organizing it. Why not show you guys the animals inside the enclosure, you know? So we have the two black dragons in here. I'll try to show you guys one of them, like taking them out right now. But I won't really hold them because we just fed them last night, and we don't really like to hold them after they just ate. It's just like us going on a jog or something after we just ate. You know, that's the last thing we want to do. At least the last thing I want to do. I just want to relax and let my food digest in. So I'm gonna try to see if he'll come to me. This is the black dragon. You wanna come out? Okay, let me show you guys. So they're so stuffed that they don't want to come out. So I'll show you guys a close view of them right now. So it is the two black dragons, like I said, and then in this one is the T positive albino and the sulfur, and there's also a baby black dragon in there. That one is already sold, and we have it in here with this one because they're about the same size. So of course we're gonna put our monitors each with the same size. You don't want to put something together that is too big or too small, just for their safety and precautions. And if you guys want to see, and the last one is the Kamingi, but we don't have it in there right now yet. But I do want to show you guys what we are currently feeding some of our monitors. We kind of invented this thing. You guys can purchase it through us. It has a mixture of all the food that they eat, like ground turkey, tilapia, and so on, mixed in. If your lizard is too big for it, you can always squeeze it and it will come out, and it'll be much easier. Like, it's as you guys can see, so any size monitor can eat it, from baby to big. But when they are little, they're not able to eat rats or mice or certain other stuff. So we do like feed them black crickets, regular crickets and stuff. So we always change it up all the time because we don't like to feed them the same thing, because we don't want them to get bored or used to one thing. Then when we want to feed them something different, they're not going to eat it. So anyways, that's the end of the video, and I hope you guys liked it, and I hope you guys stay tuned for the next video. So we'll meet in the next video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.